Today, we're out riding at the beautiful Mount Bachelor Bike Park just west of Bend, Oregon, my hometown. It has been a sick season on the Polygon Collosus N9, and I'm such a believer that the bike park is the best way to make the most progression in a short amount of time. I believe that because that's how I made most of my progression riding all last season. So today we're talking all things bike park, what to expect at different types of trails, and generally everything you need to know before your first day out on the lift access bike park. Now before we start riding, let's talk some logistics. Now I'd recommend riding the bike park with a full suspension, modern geometry bike. But if you have an older bike or a hardtail even, don't be afraid to take that out to the bike park. It just may limit some of the trails you're able to do. Next, some of you might think that I actually don't wear protective gear, but at the bike park, I always come in with these knee pads and sometimes elbow pads, depending. A lot of bike parks will also require a full face helmet. Not all of them, but I also recommend it. I've definitely crashed and this thing has saved my life. Now, if you do get yourself a full face helmet, make sure to also get the goggles that fit, just so you prevent extra dust, and even I've seen some bees get in there, which you don't want that. Now, if you're feeling really nervous about the bike park, I'd recommend getting some lessons. Even if you don't feel like you necessarily need the lesson part, at least you get a tour guide for the day. But regardless of getting a lesson or not, you are gonna need a pass. Now you can go for a season pass and be able to ride anytime, any day, or a day pass, depending on how much you wanna ride. Keep in mind when you do get the day pass, you go through scanners to get onto the lift, so wear the right clothing. Whether that's shorts with the pocket to walk through the scanner, or this Polygon jersey actually has a sick little pocket where I can stash my pass and walk right through the scanners every time. Another sometimes tricky part about the bike park is loading your bike. Now, a lot of bike parks will actually load for you and there's different ways to load the bike, but some, like the Bachelor Bike Park, I actually need to load my bike myself. Now, if you don't feel comfortable with this, there's a lot of lift technicians that will give you a hand. So with that out of the way, let's get riding. One of the biggest advantages of the bike park is being able to take the lift up. This prevents the need for having to pedal up and really can save you a lot of energy and allow you to focus much more on your technique. So whether it's hitting some black tech, honing in your jumps on the blue flow line, or really just getting comfortable on your bike on a green line, the bike park is a good place to start. Most bike parks will have an awesome trail map right at the top of the lift and also a lot of times at the bottom, so you can prepare for what you want to ride. This map is actually nicely laid out where it kind of progresses from the easiest to the more challenging. For our purposes, we're gonna start out at a green trail and move our way up. So we're gonna start at FTL, which is first timers loop. Fitting if you're a first timer. Now that we have that green run out of the way, I hope you can see that anyone can have fun at the bike park, even if you're a beginner rider. Now we're gonna move up to a blue line. Now these can be categorized between flowier and techier. So you'll see here, the free ride runs are gonna be a lot more jumps, berms, a lot more flowy. And the technical lines are gonna be where your steep sections, rock gardens are mostly gonna live. So we're gonna hit a blue flow trail called Lava Flow. Now don't get me wrong, blue trails are super fun and I can spend a lot of time at the bike park just hitting blue lines over and over and over. But every now and then, especially when I'm riding a bike like the N9 Collosus, I want to take it up a notch and hit myself a black diamond. But before we do that, let's really quickly talk about some really important bike park etiquette. Always take it easy on your first ride down the trail. You never know what new features are coming up, especially if it's your first time. And you've probably heard the saying, pre-ride, re-ride, and free ride. So make sure you check it out first, ride it again, and then hit it hard. As much as you might want to session a jump, never ride or walk up a downhill only trail. Sometimes there's paths up the mountain off the side of the trail that you can take to session, or just take the lift back up to the top. Make sure you stop in visible places. A lot of times you'll see areas that are really set aside for people to stop along the way. Not after corners, and definitely not at the bottom of a jump or a blind corner. So next up, we're gonna hit a technical black diamond called Last Chance. That tech line is so fun, and some of my favorite riding is tech. But personally, my favorite run on the mountain is red line, so let's go hit that next.
2, 1, break it down.
So there you have it. Everything, or almost everything, you need to know with your first time riding the bike park. You can probably see now why I love the bike park so much and why I think it's such a good tool for progression. Now, if you have any questions for me about the bike park, etiquette, logistics, or really any questions about the N9 that I'm riding today, let me know down in the comments. And while you're down there, make sure you like and subscribe the Bikes Online channel where I'll be hanging out. And after that, get out to the bike park and get ripping.